The Honourable Leader of the Second Opposition.
Madam Speaker, this morning the CBC released the results of soil testing in North Point Douglas that showed home gardens had lead levels higher than national safety guidelines allow. The experts who reviewed the samples were alarmed because they showed lead levels 5 times higher than national guidelines, and they said residents should not be growing vegetables in the ground because, and I quote, exposure to lead can cause a number of health issues and is especially dangerous for children or pregnant women, including impaired neurological development and developmental delays in children as well as learning difficulties. How is it that the CBC can have soil tested and have results reviewed by experts who deliver advice and action items faster than this government can?
The Honourable Minister for Sustainable Development.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And last year at this time, the former NDP leader and MLA for St. Boniface came to my office and he said to me, we haven't always gotten it right on the environment, but I'm expecting you, or I'm hoping that you'll take action and get it right. And that's exactly what this government is doing. Last year we ordered 20 soil samples to be analyzed. We shared that with the public. Last spring we ordered 120 soil samples to be analyzed. We shared them with the public. This fall we ordered another 116 samples to be analyzed. The results of that information is imminent, and it will be revealed publicly within days, if not hours.
Yay! The Honourable Leader of the Second Opposition on a supplementary question.
Madam Speaker, the Minister of Sustainable Development told a very different story about her meeting with the former MLA for St. Boniface to the Legislature earlier this May. However, on November 4th, members of the South St. Boniface Residents Association wrote to the Minister of Sustainable Development asking why the air quality monitoring equipment had not been installed by October. We know that the lead contamination in other neighbourhoods is old. The whole question in St. Boniface is whether the lead and other metals are airborne and may be raining down on gardens and playgrounds. They asked whether surrounding neighbourhoods would get any information. Has this air monitoring equipment been deployed in St. Boniface, and has this government collected or released any of that information to St. Boniface residents?
The Honourable Minister of Sustainable Development.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And as I said previously, we are committed to doing full environmental assessments and releasing that information to the public. Unlike members opposite who sat on information for more than 10 years, I'd like to table exceedances from Gordon Bell High School that is in the constituency of Wolseley, where that member colluded with his government, with his minister, to keep this information from the public. I'd like to table information from exceedances in the constituency of Minto, where that member sat at the cabinet table. He colluded with his government to keep that information from the public. I wonder if the member for Minto or if the member for Wolseley would like to apologize to their constituents for keeping that information secret.
The Honourable Leader of the Second Opposition on a final supplementary.
Madam Speaker, this government always wants credit for what they promise even when they do nothing. This government did not inform St. Boniface residents of lead contamination during the by-election. Scientists did. They unveiled a decade-old report into lead contamination in Point Douglas and Weston, and the only action they've taken is to blame the previous government. This government promised more testing in September, with results expected in October to be released weeks later in December, or perhaps hours from now. Clearly, the minister or her staff must have the report already. Does it include actual steps to let neighbourhoods know and funds committed to remediation?
The Honourable First Minister.
The trouble with the member's thesis is it falls apart onto itself, Madam Speaker. He criticizes us for not releasing reports which were undertaken by this government and never undertaken by the other. If they were undertaken by the other, we didn't know about it because they were covered up. He criticizes us for releasing them. Then he criticizes us for not releasing them during a by-election, which he claims we didn't do because we were trying to win a by-election which was in a seat which we haven't held for almost a century, Madam Speaker. I mean, the member's black helicopter attitude towards these issues is not strengthening his argument, it's weakening it. And this minister went above and beyond. She listened to people who the previous government called troublemakers. Yeah. She did tests. She undertook to do tests. She's undertaken to get the information out, and she's acting on the research. The member should be complimenting her and supporting his constituents rather than wrongly trying to score political points on the back of false arguments.